This model works in every circumstance, and I know I talk about it a lot. So in the journey of being a human being, part of what we're working to do all the time is to move from the ego, which is making us 100% human, moved from that to igniting the soul, which when you're 100% soul, you don't even have a body. You know, I might be pretty soulful, but I am not 100% soul by any means. I don't know where I am on the spectrum, and I don't care because it doesn't matter. The only thing that I know is that I'm probably higher than average, okay? So let's say I'm higher than average in my ability to bring soulfulness to the planet versus ego to the planet. And so if we look at vibrations, then so if you're like vibrating at the size of a pig versus, you know, vibrating at the size of a watermelon, what happens is your reach is so much farther if you're vibrating at the level of a watermelon. And your reach is not as great when you're vibrating at the size of a pig. So in this deconstructing period, there are going to be a lot of people who will seem to sink, okay? But when a person is sinking, they usually had lower levels of awareness to begin with. So they might have gotten information that's in their head philosophically about having a happier life, but they weren't able to implement it. So all that stuff's sitting around there in their head, and then the moment they get triggered by something that's untenable, they kind of like drop. So they kind of, one of their masks and layers just gets hardier, and they become more despondent and less connected to their soul. So that stuff in their head that they've been exposed to, you can't be living and breathing on the planet and not have been exposed to some information of value about enlightenment. You don't have to even call it enlightenment, but you know, just sit in your middle school classroom for a month and you can see all those motivational posters around the room, and they're all based on universal truth, right? So if you have been exposed, there's no doubt you've been exposed, but if it's all in your head and it hasn't been brought in, then all you need is a little something to shake it up all, it falls out of the head, and then you just pull those masks and layers on tighter. So you're kind of moving from a lower vibration to a lower vibration. But the good news is, this is the one thing that the guides have been telling me for 5 years, 8 years, the change for 2020 and beyond is that the amount of energy above the line will eclipse, it'll equal and then eclipse the amount of energy below the line. Okay, so let's, like, it's easier to pull out some numbers. Suppose there were 100 people on the planet. If there are, you know, 85 people out of 100 that are living below the line, and you add all of those little bits of energy together, and it's 85, and then you got 15 that are like kind of, oh, they're living above the line. All of those are still going to energetically eclipse the 15 that are living higher. Does everyone see that? Like, look at it in terms of mass, okay? Now, the game changer is that those living below the line, it's going to become equal because people are rising. Yes, people are falling, but to go from a cherry tomato to a pig is not going to have the same energetic impact on the planet as moving from an orange to a grapefruit, right? So how many peas, if I were to just take the difference of the orange to the grapefruit, how many peas can I fit in that change, right? Does everyone see that? That's a lot, and I'm only drawing this linearly in 2D. This is actually a sphere. So you look at this from a sphere perspective, that's a hell of a lot. So one person's expansion eclipses a lot of people's default going down, right? And so that's the really good news, is in the process of helping us to become ready, willing, and able. We don't need numbers of people to rise. We just need the people that are rising to eclipse the vibrational energy of those who are below the line. That's all we need. It's not a numbers game. It's an energy. It's an energy equation. Everything in physical manifestation is created by energy. This is an energy equation. That's all it is. It's an equation about energy. That's all it is. Okay? It's just energy. So, so in answer to her question, they don't have to come with us. They just don't. They can stay where they are. They can lock themselves up. They can be miserable. I know it's sad, and I'm not trying to be lacking in compassion, because a lot of people will show disharmonies in a way that it's heartbreaking. However, what will happen is, as the vibration is increasing above the line, then those will become the decision makers. Those will be the people who affect how we live and the choices about how we live. Right now, they're silenced because the ego of those below the line is amassing the soulfulness of the vibrational energy of those who are living closer to the soul, right? So what we see as possible doesn't have as much effect in changing the world yet, right? The ego is still the one ruling the world. But as this change happens, it's going to shift toward being the soulful energy, because the vibrational energy on this side is going to be greater than the vibrational energy on that side. And for all of recorded human history, the vibration on this side was greater than the vibration on this side. All of recorded human history, all of it. We're about to change that. So let's get back to the example of